Bar for Bar EP reviews, Dave East and Millyz, Pablo and Blanco. Pablo and Blanco is the latest collab project from Dave East and Millyz, and this project gets its name from the alternate names that both Dave and Millyz sometimes go by, Pablo and Blanco, but it also happens to be the names of two infamous drug lords which this project pays homage to. The project comes in at a total runtime of 13 minutes with 6 tracks, so it is a really quick listen for sure, which starts off with the intro, Pablo y Blanco. Pablo y Blanco is a spoken word intro from Colombian model Antonella Adams. This intro does well to set the tone for the project for a couple of reasons. The first being that the person speaking is Colombian, which Colombia is a location where drugs may or may not come from, as well as the fact that she's speaking Spanish, which you can kinda connect to the Mexican cartel. This intro leads well into the first song, Body for Body. Body for Body starts things off with a verse from Millyz, where he immediately lets you know that all his life he's been a dope dealer, and that he also kind of goes into the life that's associated with it. The things that are associated with it range from doing drugs himself, to having homies die, to getting money. A lot of these things you kind of expect, but I feel that the title of the track really comes from the idea that if you take out one of their homies, you're going to take out one of yours, even if that isn't plainly stated. With Dave's verse, he talks about how he was a trendsetter, in the sense that a lot of what he was doing back in the day, people are looking to do now. I also liked where he mentioned that he's at the nail salon getting cocaine out of his cuticles. Because, on one hand, it's not too common for guys to get their nails done, but also it tells you where he's coming from, or where he came from, without saying a whole lot about it exactly. It plays into the trendsetter role. Next we have Pablo and Blanco, and this track carries over a very similar string-based instrumental as we got on Body for Body, both of which I feel do fit the project well. This track is fun because it has Dave East and Millyz just trading verses for the entirety of the track, with the only real breaks in it being for the chorus and for the final verse where they're just trading bars. I like that for the most part they carried on each other's rhyme from the previous verse. So like if they ended with one rhyme, they carried that on to the next one. Because that allows the track, I feel, to flow well. I wish it was done for every switch just to make it flow even better, but it's pretty good as it is. As the track wraps up, the final verse has the two of them trading bars like I mentioned earlier, basically just one after another. Honestly, I'm just a fan of this type of song because it can show you the level of chemistry that artists have with each other. Generally, it can turn out pretty well even if they don't have the greatest chemistry, but if there isn't any chemistry at all, you'll be able to tell immediately. Trafficking Business is a pretty straightforward track with its message, which is that they're both in the trafficking business. Milly's verse is a bit more focused on the trafficking aspects of it, whereas Dave's is more focused on the life that he can afford to live now from all that. I thought it was cool that Dave also just started off his verse in a similar manner to the way that Millyz wrapped up his verse, where Millyz says, "We talking murder over lasagna," and Dave says, "We talking murder right over spaghetti." This brings us to Groupie featuring Shy Godly on the chorus. I don't care for the chorus in all honesty, and it just kind of feels uninspired and generic. And same with the verses to an extent. It feels like because of this chorus, we had to get shorter verses from both Millyz and Dave East. And I mean, as far as subject matter, it's straightforward and really could have been garnered from the title of the song alone, but it's about women who are groupies to the two of them. Like there's not much else to say about it. The final track on this project is Chapo, featuring scratches from Sax Selecta. This track, as well as the last one, actually does feel a little bit out of place in terms of production with the rest of the album because they are a bit different. But I still really like this song. It mostly because it feels like a more, I guess, traditional hip-hop beat, and the scratches over it just really help to complete it. This track basically just has the two of them comparing themselves to El Chapo, which I feel is done well, but I don't know how anyone can really fully compare themselves to El Chapo, because there's just so much with that, but aspects of him for sure. This track really is the best in my opinion, because I'm just into this sort of production and style rapping, really. And it shows you a lot more of both of them that the rest of the project may not have really gotten into as much. Overall, I feel this project was okay. I feel like in general, when people do shorter projects, it can go a few ways. It can be an amazing tape through and through, have a full EP of solid tracks. It could be absolute hot garbage, which, I mean, it has happened in the past. Or it could be a mixed bag. Like, you can have some good, some bad, and just be kind of right in the middle, you know? With this one, though, I do feel there was more good than bad, as there really was only one track that I disliked, which was Groupie. And I think if we had gotten a full album rather than just 5 actual songs, I may have been more excited about it, but I could also see that being a bit repetitive, especially if this is meant to be more of an homage to Pablo and Blanco. And me saying excited about it isn't to say that I wasn't excited about this one. This is just, I don't know, I felt like there was something missing to it. And that could very well just be that it was so short, and I just wanted maybe one more song. Maybe if they had swapped out Groupie, who knows. I'm only going to list 2 of my favorite songs, Chapo and Pablo and Blanco, because there's only 5 songs. It doesn't make sense to list 5 of my favorite songs. This was really my first time listening to Millyz, and I honestly still don't know how I feel about him. I will probably give him another chance, as I feel like this project was too short to properly form an opinion on him. I definitely do think that Dave East did a great job and may have outperformed Millyz on a couple of tracks, maybe most of them. But again, this very well could have been just for this project in itself. Regardless, I am looking forward to the new music that Dave East has for sure coming later this year, maybe next year if it gets pushed back for whatever reason. And I will be looking into Millyz's work as well, just to get a better idea of him as a rapper, because although I didn't care for his performance as much as Dave East here, I'm still interested enough to go and be like, no, I'll check him out. Anyways, that's all I have for this review. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of this EP and what your favorite tracks are. Also, remember to like and subscribe if you want to see more reviews and content like this. Thank you for watching, and please stay safe out there.